to the show. When it comes to voter suppression, Georgia's on our minds. I sent Ashley Nicole Black to learn more.
Leader Stacey Abrams lost the Georgia governor race to former Secretary of State and would-be murderer Brian Kemp. How? In order to find out, I did what anyone trying to solve a mystery in 2018 does. I made a podcast. So brought to you by BPBS and WSAMB Chicago, this is Ashley Nicole Black, and you're listening to This American Trash. Why did Stacey Abrams lose? Why did Brian Kemp win? Why do white people like mayonnaise so much?
Do white people like mayonnaise so much? I think we should interrogate that.
Who is this?
I'm Sarah Koenig.
What are you doing here?
Wherever there's investigative podcasting, that's where I go.
No, what are you doing in here?
I don't know, I just came downstairs. They let me in through the gate.
This is
Wait,
my
what are you
podcast.
doing?
No, we finally get a chance to do a
Look, I
podcast.
can help you out. I'm really good at this.
I put Sarah down and I went to Georgia, the state, not the country. To understand the election, it was close. Nearly went to a runoff. People claim the reason was voter suppression. But what is voter suppression? To learn more about that, I talked to someone who literally wrote a book on the subject.
Professor Anderson?
Hi.
Hi, I'm Ashley from WSAMB Chicago. Can I interview you about voter suppression?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's a good thing you're just sitting on this bench. So can you tell me about voter suppression, specifically in Georgia?
So what we're seeing here is Georgia purges voter rolls, uses voter ID, shuts down precincts in minority neighborhoods, doesn't provide enough provisional ballots, or doesn't provide enough working machines and poll workers in those areas to create these long lines.
So where does Brian Kemp fall in the line of voter suppressors in Georgia?
So post-1965, post-Voting Rights Act, he's the king.
Not Carol King or the Burger King, the best. That's what she meant. And in 2010, the king cracked down on the town of Quitman, Georgia. Activists there spearheaded a Get Out the Vote campaign that flipped a majority white school board black. How did Kemp respond? I'll let Deborah Dennard, who's one of those activists, tell you.
I was at work and my mother called me and told me that the GBI just left the house.
Sorry, what's the GBI? It sounds like a really bad STD.
The Georgia Bureau Investigation.
Oh, worse than an STD.
I was at work, my supervisor came to my classroom and told me that it was some officers outside that needed to speak to me. My charge was for assisting my father and my mother, so.
Why did your father need help voting?
He's disabled, he had both his legs amputated.
So the only way he could vote is if someone helped him and you were arrested for helping him to vote?
Yes. I had 4 charges, 2 for voter fraud and 2 for illegally touching absentee ballots.
That's a crime? I took Samantha B's absentee ballot and I rubbed it on my butt.
Why did you do that? What you thought would happen?
I thought it would grant me 3 wishes.
But it didn't grant me any wishes. As far as I know, Brian Kemp is still the governor of Georgia.
Actually, he's governor-elect. He won't be sworn in until January.
Ugh, Sarah, this is my podcast. Let's move on. What I keep asking myself is, how did the people of Georgia fall for this guy?
I got a big truck, just in case I need to round up criminal illegals and take them home myself.
It's 2018. Aren't white people kind of over racism a teeny tiny bit?
Well, actually, the majority of whites have not voted for a Democratic candidate for president since 1964. What we're seeing in voter suppression really is that pure uncut white supremacy, but it is also white fear. They wonder, what will it mean if I can no longer rely upon my privilege? But you know, we see that unveiling of mediocrity every day.
Unveiling of Mediocrity would be a great Netflix show starring, I don't know, really any of them. Let's see. Oh, Ben Affleck's Lucky Day.
Damn!
So what do the people at the heart of this story think? I didn't want to reach out to Brian Kemp because I was afraid he would retroactively invalidate my vote. But Abrams, she did get back to me.
Okay, so first question, what happened?
I did not have a free and fair election in the state of Georgia. The reality is voter suppression hits us all. It just so happens, as with many types of oppression, it hits people of color the hardest, and black people, we tend to be the front lines.
How do we talk about voter suppression without talking about race? Or are they like Lord Voldemort and Harry Potter, like one cannot live while the other survives?
I actually think that's a fairly accurate analogy. And the challenge is that it took several tomes for Harry to win. And he got hurt a lot, and he lost a lot. And there isn't always a Dumbledore around to save you from yourself.
If Stacey Abrams is Harry Potter in this analogy, then I'd say we're somewhere in the heart of book 5, which means we're 2 books, 53 movies, a play, 2 prequels, and an adult film parody away from defeating white supremacy. But that's not going to stop Stacey Abrams.
More people voted in this election than any time in Georgia history for a midterm. More African Americans voted, more Latinos voted, more Asian Americans voted. We achieved the highest ratio of white voters for Democrats in a generation. We may not have gotten where we needed to be on November 6th, but we will be back. And when we come back, we're taking everything.
So you're asking us to keep having hope for some change.
Yes.
Abrams, 2020.
I have to be a part of making it better for others because I am going to run again. And the next time I'm going to win outright without any question. And I'll be able to do even more.
Hell yes, girlfriend. And as long as people like Stacey Abrams are raising the bar, we'll continue to be better, rage against white supremacy, and be more inclusive. After all, thanks to her, this is our first all-black field piece, podcast.
Well, not all black.
Ugh, Sarah!
We'll be right back.